Well, I am moving up here this morning. Last week, it was interesting. I saw a lot of people doing these numbers, trying to find me. The last couple weeks, I've been kind of feeling kind of squirrely down there. So I'm going to try this out for the next couple weeks. I get to see everybody's faces too up here. So we're going to try this out. You know, this week, I don't know what this week has brought in your life. It has been completely crazy in the Hunt household. I am the only one that has not been in the emergency room in the last few days. So Kelly yesterday, she goes, as she's getting ready to take Abigail into the emergency room because she twisted her ankle, she goes, "What in the world are you preaching on?" Jeez. Just preaching the word, I don't know. And then, we were leaving and Dylan almost falls down the steps. I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me." So it's kind of, that's just been my week, the last several days. We are continuing this Red Letters series. I told Kelly, I said, I'm preaching on Thomas. I don't know how that relates to everything going, what's happening in our family. I just don't know. But it's just imparting God's truth. And, when we do that, we expect spiritual attack. And pray for Abigail. She still has a twisted ankle. Still has a minor sprain. Noah still has a temperature after a week. And then Kelly had a migraine, and she's all better now. But pray for them. We're going to be going out of town for the next couple days, and it's going to be interesting with our family in that condition. But we are continuing our series on red letters. And what we're doing is we are taking a look at people that had encounters with Jesus. And when they had encounters with Jesus, he spoke to them. And their lives were completely changed because Jesus spoke to them. Hence, red letters, because some Bibles have Jesus' words in red. And this morning we're talking about doubting Thomas. Doubting Thomas. You look at me now, and the thing is, there was one time I did have hair. I did have hair at one time. In fact, I'm a product of the 80s. And I graduated high school in 1989. I listened to all the 80 rock hair bands. I was a teenager and listened to like Van Halen and AC/DC and Def Leppard and all these hair bands. And they had big hair. And I had a mullet to go along with it. And some of you that don't know what a mullet is, this is a really good picture of me. And that's between, I'm a blonde hair, I have blonde hair. I'm a blonde hair. That's between my freshman and sophomore years in high school. And there are pictures of me in high school on Facebook. I have gotten ragged by some of you for some of the pictures. But I got a nickname because of my hair. My freshman year in high school, I got a nickname, and throughout all of the 4 years of high school, I could not shake this nickname at all. I went to my 20-year class reunion last year, and somebody called me by this name, and I'm like, seriously, look at my head. I don't know how we can connect it. That nickname is Boofy. Looking at that picture, I had a poof. And it was Boofy, so I'm like, that's 20 years ago. I have no poof. And I could, even some people on Facebook that I connected with in high school say, "Hey, Boofy!" And so I have not shaken this nickname. And we are going to be looking at Thomas. And Thomas was one of the 12 disciples. He had a nickname. And he has not shaken this nickname in 2,000 years, and that is Doubting Thomas. He has just really not kicked this nickname. Just because he had questions, he gets this nickname. Just because I had big hair, I got nothing. No, but he had questions, and he genuinely sought Jesus with these questions. And because he genuinely sought, he got this nickname. And you may have come through these doors this morning and you have questions in your life. You have questions for God in your life this morning. Maybe you're going through a rough patch in life and you just have those questions to God. It's like, what is going on? Maybe you've been out of work and you're still looking for a job and you're just like, what in the world's going on? I'm trying to do everything. I'm seeking you, God. Why isn't this happening? And you wonder where God is in your life and you ask those questions. Maybe you come in and your marriage is just kind of not as well as it should be. And you have those questions. And you come through the doors and we come and worship and you still have these questions on your hearts. Some of you may not be too sure about Jesus right now. You've been coming to church, you've been going to different church, this different church, and you're just seeking. And you're just not ready, or you just want to know a little bit more about Him. You still want more questions. You still want more answers to your questions. And I'm going to challenge you and encourage you, continue to seek, continue to ask your questions. There's some of us here that maybe you've been going to church for quite a long time, and you've really not committed to Jesus Christ. You've committed to the church, but you've really not committed to Jesus Christ because you still have an arms up to the church because you have questions. Maybe you've been hurt in the past, so that makes you kind of gun-shy with the church. Or maybe what a lot of times happens is people come across quote-unquote Christians that cram religion down their throat, and it actually brings more questions than answers. And I'm here to say, it's okay to have your questions. Bring your questions, is because when we have our questions, we can seek answers. And God can work with that. If we don't bring our questions, guess what? Resentment sets in. Hard heart sets in. And then you shake your fist at God and you blame God for everything. And He doesn't want that out of our lives either. So the reality is that life brings more questions than answers, doesn't it? Just living life brings questions. It's okay to have questions. Genuine followers of Jesus do not have it all figured out. If you come across somebody that follows Jesus and say, I have it all figured out, either they're trying to impress you or they're lying. Probably both. Because no follower of Jesus has this figured out. No matter what the education is or anything, we just don't have it figured out. And that's okay. That's the great thing about the journey with Jesus. We don't have to have it figured out. But we do seek Him when we do ask our questions and allow Him to work in that. Authentic followers of Jesus, guess what? We still have doubts. When we go through a rough patch in life, we still have our doubts whether Jesus is even in that situation. When a family member dies, or you lose your job, or you can have a long list. We still have our doubts of saying, where is God in the middle of that? And a lot of times we shake our fist at God and say, why? Why does this happen? It's okay to have